Well, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for joining me. Today we're here for another Gauntlet review, but it's not a knife. Can you guys believe that? It's actually a stove from Vargo. It's their Firebox grill. It is kind of specialized in what it's designed to do, but what it does do is pretty darn cool. So hang around with me, guys, and I'll show it off to you. Well, again, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I am grateful for your time. Again, it is the Vargo Firebox stove. It is pretty cool. It's made out of titanium, so it's extremely light. Comes in at 4.1 ounces. Now, I'm not sure if that 4.1 ounce includes the bag or not, but you guys and I both know that bag's not going to add a whole lot of weight to it. For what it is, it does have a packable kind of a large footprint, but it does come in flat. So anyway, guys, without much yakking, let's go ahead and unpack this baby, and I'll show it off to you. One of the first things that stood out to me about this stove is just the ease of setup. You pull it out of the package and basically it just comes apart. As you can see, all the walls are hinged together. This floor plate here, it does have tabs on each side to lock it into each individual wall. And you just kind of roll it around. You just kind of roll it around and fit the tabs in as you go along. And this last one has a spring clip that locks everything into place. Once that's done, the grill just folds down on top, and it does have grooves on either side to kind of lock that grill into place. It's extremely simple setup, easy, no fuss, no muss. Now, one thing I want to point out here is that this floor plate, or ash catch, whatever you want to call it, it does have a tendency to drop a lot of ash and coals, so you do have to maintain fire discipline when you're out in the woods. Like I said in the beginning, guys, I feel like this stove is specialized, as in it's intended to grill basically only. I also feel like it is designed more so for like commercially produced charcoal than it is for, you know, renewable fuels that you'd find out in the woods and stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and hit up that angle today. The reason I say that is it comes apart. Well, guys, I was going to say this negative for the end of the video, but it just I just showed you inadvertently. It does come apart fairly easily on accident. Anyway, moving right along to what I was saying. Like I was saying, I do feel like it is more so for commercially produced charcoal than it is for renewable materials you'd find out in the woods. Mainly because of the size of the box, the shape of the box, and the lack of adequate ventilation. I do think it was designed around charcoal. I'm just putting some hardwood chunks in here just to act as a little bit of fuel once we get our tinder going. Alright, let's fuel this thing up and get to work. Once you have your initial fire setup in there, you do want to leave the grill off because you do need to continually feed the fire itself until you get a good coal base established. So go ahead and leave the grill open. And we'll let that get established. Feed it some more fuel, get a good coal base, and we'll start cooking. Now our fire's getting going down below. Some of those poplar shavings. These are some hickory twigs. Just broke up. I'm trying to transition over to hardwoods. Now this is what I was talking about with the size of the stove itself. This is the third time I've had to stoke this back up so I can add more larger size fuel in there to start getting a good coal base going. So it does, with natural materials and debris found on the forest floor, it does take a little while to get a good coal base going on. Let's go ahead and close this up. Obviously it's hot. Put these babies over. Hot. What do you expect? Now you see it's kind of burning around the edges. This is, again, going back to the size of the firebox itself. It just keeps the grill so low to the or close to the coals that there's very little temperature control available to you. While I am saying that as a critique, yes, that is one of the main things that leads me to believe that this stove was designed around charcoal or commercially produced charcoal, in such that it is a uniform source of heat, unlike, you know, the debris that you'd find on the forest floor that has, you know, some woods burn hotter, some burn cooler, some burn longer, you know, etc. Alright, just about time to take these puppies off. Let's go ahead and put some Swiss cheese on top. Don't know about you guys, but I'm hungry. Now that we got our burgers off, let's toast our buns. These are just mushroom caps. I typically try to stay away from carbs as much as I can. So this is how I usually eat a hamburger. Point out, if I do pop that center out, makes for a nice snack while you're cooking food. If you like mushrooms, that is. Those go for a minute, and we'll eat some lunch. Go ahead and flip these over. All right, let's get these off here, but first, the secret ingredient is porcus infernum from Voodoo Chili Sauces. Little drizzle. Holy moly. That is amazing. Who says you can't eat good going low carb? Alright folks, well there is the Vargo Titanium Firebox grill. It is a handy little grill and it is a relatively unique concept. Like I said in the beginning, and I've mentioned it a few times, I do think it is kind of specialized to specifically grilling and also to the fuels you can use in it. There is definitely a learning curve into tailoring it to the fuels that you want to use out in nature, whether, you know, be hardwood, softwoods. The size of the fuel itself does all make a huge difference or impact on how you cook whatever it is you're cooking. Simply because of the size of the firebox itself lends itself, it limits the amount of fuel you can put in it, and also the size as far as the height goes. It keeps your food really close to your coal bed or your fire, which you really have to tailor how you cook to that. I have found where I'm at with natural materials that I have to reload the fire itself several times to complete whatever it is I'm cooking. The grill, in my opinion, does not work very well for a pot stand if you're using a pot or a cup or something like that. It's very flexible, and as you saw earlier, that stove does fall apart fairly easily. So yes, the stove does have certain negatives as far as how I cook. I do think that the stove was designed around charcoal as a fuel itself specifically. And in that instance, it has been shown in previous reviews, and I have done it myself, where it does work really well with charcoal. So I think if you live in an apartment, or if you want to use this as, you know, like a porch setup, you know, the power goes out or you run out of propane on your grill, if you're cooking for 1 or 2 people, it does work really well with that for charcoal. It works okay with fuel pellets, but as far as natural material goes, it is something you have to play around with and figure out how best to load it and how best to fuel it for whatever it is you're cooking. But with a weight of 4.1 ounces and the footprint that it comes with, I mean, it is a good option. Pardon all this wind, guys, but anyway, I looked right before I came out and I saw various prices out there. The cheapest I saw was $44.95 on Amazon. Given the wide range of prices that I did see, I do expect that you'll probably see some price variances there from time to time. I mean, Amazon's prices change almost daily on a lot of stuff, so it really frustrates my wife. But anyway, guys, thanks for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, if you found it helpful, whether this is the stove for you or not, I hope it helped you make an informed decision. Please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you want to continue to see more stuff like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And guys, as always, please hit up that comment section. Let me know what you think. Let me know what stove or grill you use, what you like to use, what options that you'd like to share with me and the rest of the folks out there. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here today, and I will see you next time.